Welcome to Moody Brides.
Hey!
Hey, someone's drunk. It's me. Just straight up fucking disclaimer. It's me. I'm drunk. Yeah.
I'm Rachel Wrinkle.
And I am Rachel Riley, and we have a very special guest.
Guest!
We have a guest, that's right. And her name is Emily and not Sarah.
It's Emily.
It's Emily.
It's
Emily.
It is.
Emily is awesome. She's my friend. Her name is Emily Graham, and she's here to teach us how to be like her.
Oh,
I'm so grateful that she is your friend. She'll probably be my friend. But I was telling my friend PJ, I was like, dude, been drinking a little bit and I have an interview to do in approximately 2 hours. And she's like, and what's her name? And I was like, I think it's Sarah, and she's a counselor.
Nope. That's not even.
She goes, it sounds like you've done your research. And I was like, yeah.
You're super ready, Rachel. You were ready for this. Sarah is ready.
Sarah is ready. You would probably like to be Sarah right now. You're like, does Sarah live alone?
Does Sarah have no children?
Does Sarah have no children?
Sarah probably has like a boho home, which I'm currently obsessed with, and lots of plants and like no kids. And she loves old fashions. And she has
vinyl.
Cats. Oh God, Sarah, do you listen to vinyl? If you were Sarah, but you're Emily.
Sarah does.
Yeah, Sarah probably
does yoga to vinyl.
Ooh. Sarah is really working on herself during quarantine.
She's doing lots of projects and things.
I believe it.
Telling other moms how they should be doing crafts. And
shut up, Sarah. Not right, you,
but
fake Sarah. Hypothetical Sarah can go.
Fortunately, we don't have Sarah on our podcast.
Podcast? I thought you said thoughtcast.
On our podcast. We have Emily on our podcast today.
Hi.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily. I'm sorry I got your name wrong 7 times.
It's okay.
I'm a trained rat.
No. It's good.
But you look great. Like
me?
She's very pretty, and she's very tall.
Oh, long
I am
hair.
Super tall. I'm 6'3".
Nuh-uh.
I am.
No way.
If you were a guy, I would actively pursue you.
My 18-year-old son looks just like me, and it's quite frightening.
How is that having an 18-year-old son? Are you
super
scared?
Weird when I also have a 5-year-old. So, yeah, and I have 3 others. I have 5 kids. Yeah, I have
5 kids.
Sarah has 6. That's what I told everybody. So
you told everyone. Okay, so
no,
that's rude because now 5 is going to seem less impressive when in reality it's extremely.
Well, let me just add everything else to it because there's a whole equation.
For sure. Absolutely.
So I have an 18-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a just turned 5-year-old. So I have a preschooler and a senior in high school.
Oh my God. Emily, just sheer
curiosity,
are your ovaries tired?
They are. Although they would be open to another. They would be.
Oh my.
She loves having babies.
They would be. And sad moment, but I've lost some since my youngest. I've lost a couple babies.
Sorry to hear that.
Sad. I know, sad. But yeah. I would. I'm just getting old, and I have a career now, so I think I need to move into the next
absolutely
part of life. Yes, but I love it. I do. They're making me insane, but I love it.
Yeah. If they weren't making you insane, I probably wouldn't be your friend because you would be a crazy person. You would be a different kind of crazy.
Well, let me tell you about the crafts we aren't doing, about, the school we are not doing, and the electronics we are watching.
Yes.
Is it Blippi? Because he's kind of a snack.
No, it's not.
Sorry,
Blippi.
not sorry.
No, we were doing some Muppet Babies today.
Ooh.
We also have, my children were also listening to some rap.
Absolutely.
Of course they were.
Because I do. So now they all do.
Same.
I introduced Lennon to J-Bug, who is I think J-Bug. I used to listen to him a lot when I was in Guam. And so it's just very islandy. And so I put it on, I have an Apple TV, and if you put it on the Apple TV, it gives the lyrics. And wow, apparently it's not smoking bomba, it's smoking bomb bud. And also there are talks of having sex, and whoa, had no idea. But Lennon's
but
over
your
there
kids are so
jamming.
little they don't understand yet, so you're good.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't understand either up until 2 days ago, and I was like, oh fuck, what am I doing?
Yeah,
It's fine.
I mean, my 9-year-old was rapping something like murder on my mind. You know, it's fine.
I know that song.
Maybe murder was on her mind. Maybe it was like vigilante murder.
It's fine. He was really about it, and my oldest really likes it too. And then he gets his little brother on board. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. It's quarantine. It doesn't count.
Well, I have a Tupac keychain, so I'm telling you, rap runs deep in this minivan, Mom.
Yes, it does. Okay, real talk. One reason that I do not want another one. I was literally just talking to my friend about this today. I really want a Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't have more kids.
I can't if I want a Jeep.
It's just not conducive to.
It's really not.
Then you'd have to like leave one at home.
Yeah, which I'm fine with.
Right, especially the 18-year-old. I would leave him at home all the time.
Out at dinner. Okay.
He's the only one I want to go.
How is it for him having this happen during his senior year?
Oh my gosh, that's so sad. It's so sad. So I had him when I was really young, and it was just him and me, and we basically like grew up together. We're like Gilmore Girls.
Yes.
And so I so wanted this all for him. Like he's had the best high school. It's so great here. He's had the best time. He loves it. He has this girlfriend that I introduced him to.
Yes.
The best mom ever.
For 2 years. So she's wonderful. Like it's great. And then all this shit happened.
Yeah.
You know, he's actually got a really great attitude about it. He's just like I'm the one who's mourning his graduation, and his senior prom is supposed to be like 2 weeks from now. Like he went last year. So I have that.
That's
but
good.
Like I'm the one who's like, you know, and the graduation, like that kind of stuff. And like knowing that his last day of high school was in March, and we didn't even know, like, you know, he'll never go back into
he's officially like graduated.
He's done. Like he has to take some AP tests. He's going to Chapel Hill.
Very
so
nice.
He's kind of looking to that now. He's like, I'm going to college, Mom. Like that's next. But they were talking like maybe they might even do first semester online.
That makes me want to cry.
We're still like planning full steam ahead for college, but that's kind of where he's kind of gotten tripped up. Well, actually, the thing that's bothering him the most is his siblings at this point. Because we're taking this shit real serious. We're not going anywhere. And so we are just a unit in our house, and we're not doing anything. And so a lot of his friends are not taking it serious. And so he's the one in the house, and he's like, Mom, you don't understand. I'm with these kids, and they're just so much younger than me. And I was like,
weird. I don't know anything about that.
Funny. He's like, okay.
Weird.
Okay, Mom. He's like, but I'm like an adult now. Okay, dude, you are 18, but yet you still spend, 5 hours a night on PlayStation. So it's not quite an equivalent to an adult. I'm quarantined with all children.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel
that. You eat a lot, I'm sure. I'm sure your grocery bills are pretty crazy.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's what they look forward to at this point. Yeah. Like, what are we eating? What are we doing? So
I went to Costco today, and I had to wait outside in line, and it was awful. And I spent $500, and I didn't even get all the stuff that I needed to get. And I was just like, wow. And then I come home, and the kids are like, berries. Mom, berries.
I know.
Berries.
They eat so much fruit.
They do. And then also, we're still working on I know we talked about like not doing poop stories, but I have a poop story.
You know what? Emily has had 5 kids. She can handle a poop story.
You guys, my sewer backed up into my backyard as of 6 p.m.
Today?
So let's talk about, it's happening. Let's talk about poop because it's all in my fucking backyard.
I have a dog that can probably fix that for you. So we're potty training, and yesterday maybe the day before yesterday, there were a couple poops on the patio. I thought of you, Rachel. And then last night, Lennon comes into the living room, and she goes, "Oh, uck," and I'm like, "Oh, uck, like what kind of oh uck?" And she's like, fuck, Mom. I'm like, oh, fuck me. So I go into the playroom, and there is poop on the floor in the playroom, and she points to her butt, and she's like, dirty butt? And I was like, yeah, you got a dirty butt. And then Hannah, my dog, comes in and is like, that looks fucking delightful. And she ate it, and I was like, ah! And so I just, like, immediately, and Zach was telling me, Zach and I had just gotten off FaceTiming. He's like, I'm glad everything's going really well for you. And I'm like, yeah, basically. It's fine. And then all that happens, and I'm like, Hannah, no! And so she spit out some of it, but so she didn't eat all of it, but she ate most of it.
Barf.
Yeah, basically. And I'm just like, this is my life.
I know. I think that all of us have had those poop moments with our children. We're like, wow.
Awful. Like,
yeah, those moments where you kind of like think back, like 10 years ago, I would just watch rom-coms and
I know, and like
lay it by the and now I'm cleaning poop off of a floor, and no one's paying me to do it.
Yeah, no, that's that's a pretty solid.
Yeah,
pretty bleak.
But you know, but then they're cute.
They are so cute.
They are. Then they're sweet and cute, and you're like, okay, because like this week, I've had it because I work full time, and I've had it, and so my daughter, my 5-year-old, came in and offered me an ear massage because that is something that you really want when you're stressed.
Yes.
So for like 10 minutes. But how cute that she really knew I was stressed and she was trying to help me. So pounding on my ear was the choice. But I loved it.
Really sweet. And also, if she wants some tips, I know somebody, it's me, who bought a bunch of massage books that I have not read. But there are tips for ear massages in there.
I bet you are more skilled at ear massages, but she definitely, her heart was there.
Yeah. My heart's definitely not there. I'm like, you all probably haven't like cleaned that shit out in forever. So I'm just going to like kind of tug off it.
How is it working full time through this with 5 kids, solo parenting?
How much do you drink is a good question, I think. It's a follow-up question.
So I don't drink because I have 2 jobs. I work for Western Governors University and I manage a team of 23 people. And then I'm also a mental health therapist and I work with people with substance abuse issues. And so I don't drink.
I totally get that. I know someone. It's my dad. He's a terrible person. But if you think you can get through there, by all means, he probably won't pay you because he's, you know what? Nope, not going there. Not today, friends.
Well, so I'm in my office and I close my door, which is, I work from home always.
Yeah.
Except for when I'm in private practice once a week, but I can't do that. So I have to do that online too. So that's been fun. But I close my door in the morning and I really, like last week I had 12 meetings on Tuesday and Wednesday and I could not exit. So it's like Lord of the Flies out there. I do not know what is happening. I hear screams.
Of course.
I don't know what they're eating. Sometimes they walk in during a meeting on camera. They might not have clothes on. They might be talking about poop.
Probably.
Someone's definitely crying.
Oh,
for sure.
And then I come out, and then that's when job number 8 trillion begins, when I'm picking up everything from the day, and then I have to cook, and then do the laundry. So it's actually been a big pile of hell. But I am really trying to be positive and find the silver linings. But it has been a lot. I am not going to lie.
I'm trying to like comprehend what, like, I get what you're telling me, but like, I just, on another level, I mean, I get it, but also I got Todd's, man. And so hearing that there are older children out there wreaking the exact same chaos, except they probably wipe their own butts.
They do. The older ones especially. I mean, I did just look at the 5-year-old's butt. I did.
5-year-olds are a little tricky.
But my 18-year-old, he's helpful after he wakes up at noon. He is helpful, like, and he gets real, he just gets real annoyed. It's instant rage. So, but that's just one piece of this. Let me add another piece. My 10-year-old is a child actor.
That's right.
Oh, that's you.
That's me. And she's still auditioning. And we're still waiting to hear when she's going back to finish filming the second half of this first season of her show for Disney Channel. So I still have to plan all of that. And if they tell us we have to come back soon, I have to move all 5 of my kids and 2 dogs to New Orleans to film this. And
okay, but they also, like, I get that you don't drink, but hand grenades are in New Orleans.
I know what? It's so funny. I was there for Mardi Gras this year because she was there filming, and my best friend came.
I love Mardi Gras.
And we went, and we've never been before, and it was so fun. It was so crazy, and it was disgustingly dirty and
so disgusting. Absolutely.
And men were trying to show me their things and parts, and I didn't want to see, and they were asking me to see mine, and I was like, no, you really don't want to see that. And so we had the best time. We did not have a hand grenade, even though we really were going to, but it was so crowded, it got a little bit scary. Listen to this. My best friend was there with me Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mardi Gras weekend. She flew home Sunday. Tuesday, she got deathly ill and was more sick than she's ever been in her life, and guaranteed it was COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I basically know that I was exposed. It's pretty exciting. New Orleans was like a hotbed for it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I had my 10-year-old at parades grabbing beads and like dodging people's boobs like a good mom, and she was probably exposed too.
Well, you would already have symptoms now, so you're clearly immune and everything's fine. Yeah, you're fine.
Yep.
But still.
New Orleans. So I know Elle worked on the originals, right?
She's done the original. She's in The Last Hunger Games. She's in Stranger Things. She's in Walking Dead. She's in Swamp Thing. She's done lots of fun stuff.
Yeah, basically she's cooler than any of us will ever be. That's okay.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine.
She's like 9 or she's 10, and she's definitely cooler.
She's almost 11, and she has her own Instagram that has more followers than anyone that should ever have. And she has, I run it. She doesn't.
Yeah.
But it's so strange to see, like, I'll post a picture on her account, and she'll have like 900 likes in 15 minutes. It's like,
oh man.
And I post one, and it's like 3 likes. Like,
yeah, no, that's for sure. That's where we are.
I feel you on that. I mean, if Elle could like shout out the podcast, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I have to give you props because you seem like you're doing such an amazing job of making sure she has a really normal childhood. Like, she obviously does some very extraordinary things, but I feel like when she's at home, she's a very normal child.
Even when she's there, that child is on lock. Hell no, I'm not going to have Lindsay Lohan. No. She loves it. Elle loves it. This is what she wants. She's loved it since she's been doing this since she was 4 years old, was her first movie. And she did it because she came on an audition with me, because I do musical theater here, and I had commercial audition, and she came with me, and they cast her and not me.
Right.
And so that's how it all started. And she loves it, but she gets $100 an episode of anything she does. $100. That's all she knows. That's all she gets. I still feel like it's important that she gets money, so she knows, like, I worked for this, and she gets it, but that's it. Everything else gets saved and put aside. She knows nothing about any of it. This girl has chores. There's no princess attitude here. She needs to be, she's one of 5. There's just no way it can't be that way.
There needs to be more moms like you.
Well, she needs to realize, and we talk about it a lot, how incredibly grateful she should be for all of these opportunities. It's not just something that you get. It's something you need to be grateful for. So she's good. She's a good girl. She doesn't brag. She's not a bitch. Well, she is sometimes to me, but she's not.
They all are to their moms.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, both of mine can be kind of bitchy sometimes.
Yeah.
I just admire you so much. And I mean, I guess it's definitely worth noting that you guys are also a military family. And I think that, holy cow, balancing this particular lifestyle, because your husband's job requires him to be gone a lot. You're working full time, 5 kids. One is an actor. One's graduating high school. One is very small. And, you know, I would love just like, what would you say your greatest piece of parenting advice would be if you could just tell mom something?
Oh my gosh.
Or dad.
Let it go. Let it all go. Do not nothing is perfect. Just relax. Like if your kid has 50 things due in school and like 50 projects and you can only get to one, everything's going to be okay. If your kid doesn't do every single spirit day, everyone's going to survive it. Everything's good. As long as you love them so hard, then all those other things are just, nobody will ever remember one bit of it. So
I love that.
That's how I live, because I can't. I literally cannot possibly remember everything that everybody needs at all times.
For sure.
So, but I do know that me hugging them super tight and letting them cry if they're sad and kissing them and telling them I love them so much, it means more than any of the other shit.
Yeah.
That's
that's kind of our motto here. I let Lennon splash in the puddle. I told her, like, our backyard doesn't have really good drainage, so we were out there playing in the water, and just kind of a little puddle that gets over there, and I was like, Lennon, girl, if you want to jump in there, go live your best life and jump in this puddle.
Right.
And she looked at me and she said, thank you, Mama. And she went over there, and her feet are so disgusting, but just the fact that she looked at me and was like, thank you. Like, all right, I'm going to go cry now. Punch a brick wall and cry a little bit. It's fine.
I know.
Precious.
I have to ask you, as someone who has such so many things going on, and you're in your 30s, correct? Late 30s?
I'm not.
You're 40s? You're 40 now?
I am 42.
Oh, for some reason I thought but I guess I met you in your 30s, so that makes sense.
Yes,
okay.
You did.
So for somebody who's in their 40s, which is very young still, and who has been through so much, you have a child who's entering adulthood, and you had a child 5 years ago. So like you've just been in it for a long time. What is a time that you thought was a failure or the end of things, but then looking back on it was a blessing? Something difficult that you went through, or something that you did or experienced?
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, when I met my husband, I was a single mom with my Ryan, and I was getting my PhD. Yeah. And I met him, and it was kind of whirlwind. And then we got married a year later, and then I just started having babies. So my PhD got put on hold.
Right.
Until I decided that the PhD just wasn't happening. Like I kept on trying to like hold on to it and finish it. And I had 4 kids in 5 years, and I'm just holding on to like the strings of this thing. And I'm like, this isn't going to happen. And that felt like a big deal to me, because I had worked so hard to get there and all by myself, and it's a single mom and doing all this stuff. And I had to let something go. My husband was gone all the time, and I'm raising these babies all by myself. This is before I was working. And I was just like, you know what? I can go back. I can, and I will someday. And I'll finish this, but right now I'm going to let it go. And that was a horrible time, because it felt just like I just gave up, but I didn't give up. What I did was I devoted myself to my babies instead. And that is just as important as anything else. And now I'm refocusing and like everybody's growing a little bit every time. Yes. And even my 5-year-old, like she's getting there, right? We're all getting there. And then now I can focus on myself and what I want in my career. And that's okay now. At the time, it felt really disappointing and like I had failed, but I didn't. It's just a shift of a mindset. So
I like that.
Yeah.
Shift of a mindset.
That's such a good, that's really helpful to hear. I know that you know my family a little bit. I had Betty, I got pregnant with Betty in college immediately or got married to Matt like right in time to have her, and am just now finishing my senior year of college. 10 years after I met him. Almost 10 years after I got pregnant with her. And like there are times where I like feel like a failure. And I'm like, I have nothing to show for all that time and all this stuff. And then like I have to reshift and be like, you were raising children.
Mm-hmm.
Like
that's exactly what it is. It is exactly what it is. And it's so, you know, I had my master's and I got that with Ryan. I did that as a single mom.
You're amazing.
But I think that I had to. I didn't have Rob, you know, I didn't have a spouse. So you know, and then I didn't work. So once I married him, I didn't work until Maddie, the youngest, she was a couple months old, and I started back into therapy again. I just got my toes in the water. But that's really like what opened things up for me. But I have many times felt like, look at me, I'm just 3 or 4 years into a career, and I'm in my early 40s. Like, what? Some people have been working for 15 years by now, but I cannot look at it that way. I have to look at that was the time that they needed me the very most.
Yep.
And that's what I'm going to do. And I gave them all of me. And now I'm going to split. I'm going to do what I want to do and have a career. And then I'm also going to be their mom. And so when they're really little, they need us like that, you know?
Yes.
So I think it's awesome. Good. You finished that, college girl, and you go and get more if you want it.
Yeah. I've definitely got to do more than just the bachelor's, but I definitely, I catch myself, like my friend down the street is an attorney, and like completely different trajectories. Like she went to school, graduated on time, went to law school, and then met her husband, got married, had babies, like, you know, the traditional way of doing things. And she's like, why are you in such a hurry? Like, are you planning to go back to work immediately? I'm like, well, probably not, because Matt's going to be deploying. And yeah. And she's like, what's the rush? And I'm like, if I really sit down and think about it, it's really just like pride. It's kind of like a really kind of a, I don't know if it's vanity or it's just one of those like, I have to do this to prove that I'm more than a mom, which is so fucking pathetic after knowing what motherhood entails. Like you're never just a mom, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, that was a reality check hearing that from her. I'm like, why am I in such a rush? Like I'm probably not going to work full time for several more years.
Yeah. And that's okay. It took me literally, I had my toes in, and then I worked like 15 hours, and then I worked a little more than that, and I pulled back, and then I went back in even more, and now it's taken years for me to get to where I am. I just got actually this promotion from Western Governors University in November, so this has been like full steam ahead since then, and that's when I'm like really working a lot, which is really great timing with the deployment. It's fine.
Awesome.
And the pandemic. It's fine.
It's all fine.
Pile it
on. But you know, that is so important for all moms, even if you don't ever go back, even if you don't have a career and this is where you are and with your kids and that is your career and volunteering and doing all that, do it. Like if that's what makes you happy, because really it's about that too, right? So I got to a point where being home and I kind of felt like I had given everything to my husband and my kids and I needed some of me back. And that's what I've gotten from working. It also gives me absolute heart attacks and headaches, but I feel like I've got me kind of back again.
Oh, that makes so much sense. And anything worth doing is going to be difficult. So,
oh my gosh.
Yes, so much on the plate.
Absolutely.
Amazing.
I do have a ton on my plate. Well, I direct theater in Wilmington, and I act in musical theater too whenever I can, like whenever in my free time.
Yeah.
Which
what is free time?
Isn't a ton, but that's for me. That's like fully for me, and I love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. And you know, I think when we're first moms, it takes us a really long time to figure out the balance between what is all about them and where we fit in that equation. And as military spouse too, add that in there. Like I feel like a lot of times military spouses give everything to their spouse and to their career. Everything is just like, here, I have to live here because of you. I have to take care of everything because of you, because you're gone. Like I love him, but
absolutely
because I love him, I agreed to this. But it kind of puts us in a really tough spot. And then there just was a certain point where I was like, it's time for me to have me. And that's where I'm at. So is it a crazy life? Yes. I mean, it's always busy and my mind is always running, but I'm happy.
Yes.
I like that.
That's all that matters. That's really like at the end of the day, like as long as you're happy and satisfied, that's really because at the end of the day, and
we lost you.
me?
Oh, there
now,
you are.
Now you're back. You're good. At the end of the day.
At the end of the day, the only person that is going to be there for you is you.
That's
So
true.
if you do not make her happy, then nobody is happy.
I love it when she goes all Winston Churchill.
I love it. No, that is so, so true. And you know what? I've got 3 girls that are watching me, and they need to see that you can do. And my sons.
Absolutely.
My sons need to see it. They need to see strong woman running shit. And that it's not intimidating. It is just what they do, what you can do.
Hallelujah.
So,
preach to the choir.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
It's so true. Those little girls, I mean, it's so cool to see. They know I work, and it also breaks my heart, right? Because they're like, Mommy, please, do you have to work today? Do you have to? And it's like, yes, I do, but I'll come out afterwards and I'll cook a really shitty dinner that you're gonna hate.
Absolutely. Y'all like corn dogs? I know how to make corn dogs. That's what we're having.
Would eat spaghetti every night if they could, but if I'm actually making it, like planning to make it, then suddenly it's not good enough. So motherhood in a nutshell. But if Matt makes something, they eat it.
We're eating for dinner. Why is that, man? Those kids.
Yeah, Rob's like, well, when I get home, you've been cooking so much, like we're just gonna have a cook-off. I'm like, dude, cook all the
Yo, get that.
I'm done, and you can win, and I won't care. You can win the cooking wars. You're the best cooker ever. I don't ever want to do it again.
Yes. Motherhood definitely takes the fun out of cooking for me personally. I used to enjoy trying new recipes, and now I'm just kind of like, how do I make sure everyone gets some vegetables in them at some point today? And it's just not as fun as it was.
I bought stuff to make homemade gummies, like homemade jelly. I'm sorry. I'm trying to like get comfortable. It's not working. I'm a little tired. Oh shit. God damn it. It's fine. Ugh.
Oh God.
It's been a very long day today. It's been a very long fucking week. All right. So I just want to get comfortable in my seductive pose.
That's her seductive
which
pose.
Which is gonna go on fate. I do. On
YouTube for all 8 of our subscribers. There's 8 of them. There were 3, and now there's 8. So that's progress.
It is progress. I love it. You guys have been at this for a while.
We really have. We've been working on being consistent is our biggest challenge because life happens. Like, I swear, like, we started the podcast and then my dad passed away. So things were a little weird there for a while. And then we started to get consistent again. And then Rachel was like, yo, I got to move to California. And I was like, okay. So she did that. And so things were hairy. And then her father-in-law died. And then I moved. And it's like lots of life has happened. But this is definitely like me and Rachel's thing that we do for ourselves. And we're kind of like, if we look stupid, if we sound stupid, if no one listens, we're still having fun.
No.
It's a good time.
I can't
We lost you. Rachel?
Yeah.
No one can hear you. Nope. I don't know.
I don't know.
I love how you're just wiggling. You've gone from sitting to... Nope. Still can't hear you. Nope.
How about now?
Yes! Now we can hear you.
I switched the fucking setting on the... Oh my God. It's been a week, y'all. It's been a week.
I get it. Yes, I totally get it.
It's been like after the Costco trip, I was like, you know what? I am going to live my best life. I'm going to hang out. I'm going to admire my garden. I texted Rachel and asked her if it was okay if I had a couple beers before we did this interview.
Do it. But
I did.
I'll tell you guys, you have to keep doing this. You guys are really good at it, and I love it, and you're really good at it. So if this is something that you love, you got to do it. Like
we do love it.
I really do. Like, I don't even know. But then sometimes I get in my own head and I'm just like, wow, what kind of people like to sit and listen to us rattle on about inappropriate things and
Our
stuff
moms.
apart from our moms.
Yeah, but also like other moms that really want to hear people keeping it real.
Yes, it's kind of.
It's real.
It's really real.
We are real. I don't wear a bra 95% of the time, and I never wear makeup.
No,
except for today.
But you guys are so pretty without makeup. I'm a catfish.
No.
You're not.
No way. Impossible. I literally hear people outside my door. How many is the guess? How many children are standing outside the store right now?
Oh, minimum three.
It's a fun game I like to play with myself.
Do you ever just throw things at the door? Like,
no, I just say
bean bags.
I do that.
Out. Get out.
Go away. For the love of God. How has it been being a mental health professional and dealing with your own mental health challenges? Because I know that this is unprecedented, obviously, what you're going through. But I know that you've also had some issues before this too, right? Like you deal with chronic anxiety, right?
Anxiety, yeah.
Okay.
Major, always, my whole life. Yeah, good question. I mean, I'm just super real and honest. That's like my MO with my clients. I tell them all when I first meet them, I will be absolutely real, and you probably won't like it sometimes, but I also like to laugh a lot. That's like how I run my therapy. So if I'm feeling a certain kind of way, I'll just be like, this week has been absolute garbage in pandemic world. How are you?
Yes.
And then that kind of it's kind of a way to show them that I'm open to sharing, a little window of myself. And then it kind of opens them up to be like, oh my gosh, it's the worst. And then they tell you everything.
Yeah.
So, I've learned how to manage my anxiety over the years. I mean, it sucks still. But sure. I've learned how to manage it for myself, what works for me. And I do like helping other people with that. I do really like helping people mental health wise.
I have to ask.
Yeah.
How do you separate? Because I've always wanted to be a counselor, but the problem is I take on everybody else's emotions.
Sure.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah. After a while, you just don't.
Yeah.
There are some stories that I'll never forget.
Mm-hmm.
There are some times I just felt sick. I've cried in session with a client, which is actually, can be really powerful for the client to know that they're really being heard. You try your best not to, but sometimes it's like, holy shit.
Yeah. I can imagine.
So I've heard some things that you can't forget. But I also, for the most part now, I'm able to be like, okay, this is them. Mm-hmm. I'll have some clients for years. I can leave it. I can just leave it there. But it took me a few years before I could do that. And now I'm pretty good about doing that. It's possible.
That makes complete sense, because I wonder the same thing all the time. Like, I go to see my therapist and I absolutely love her. And I feel like our sessions tend to be pretty light because I'm not really struggling with my OCD symptoms right now. I'm mainly just going to unpack things, which has been really amazing. The first time I've ever done that in therapy. And I think about like how many people she sees in a day and like what she's hearing. And I'm like, wow, I mean, how does she like go home at night and forget about it? But that makes sense. Yeah. It's probably just a skill that you develop over time.
It is a skill. It is a skill. And it's not like to say that I forget them, but I'm not bringing their baggage with me. If I think about a client during the week, and I'm like, okay, I need to see how they're doing. I need to check in, things like that. Like I'll do that. But it's not that their story is my story.
Yeah.
I've got enough shit.
No shit, right?
Maybe that's part of it too. I have enough on my plate for plenty of plates I can share. So I also only do it one day a week. That has been, I went from doing it multiple days a week to now I only do it one day a week. And that has been a really manageable way to handle that too. So it's good.
That makes sense. Have you ever had a patient that you had to stop working with because it wasn't a good fit?
Oh, hell yes. Yes, like I had to lock the door, had to lock them out, had to lock the whole entire practice, had to be on lockdown because I was afraid. Oh yeah, that's happened before. Yeah, it's because sometimes people, once they've shared with you, they're vulnerable and they don't like that. And if you don't, and if you're not meeting, if there's no, like, you're not vibing and you think that I've had some male clients that have been a little bit on the sexually aggressive side with me, and I'm not, so I just shut that down and they're not coming in again. So it takes a hot minute. But that's few and far between, but it has happened before. Yeah.
I'm glad that it's the exception and not the rule.
But I'm also 6'3" too. Remember, like, even though I'm super skinny, I can stand up and be like,
you're gonna leave now.
I'll crush you.
I am feeling like absolutely incredibly short right now. Because Rachel, how tall are you? You're taller than I am.
I'm only 5'8", so I'm like average tall, but I'm not Emily tall.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
I'm sitting here at like 5'6", 5'5" and
normal.
5'5" and 3/4.
That's average. I've taken it over the edge. I'm not sure how or why, but clothes fit like shit. So don't worry. You're not missing anything.
The trick is to actually not wear any clothes.
Yeah, or to wear leggings that are supposed to be long for everybody else, but they're capris on you.
That's right, girl. Every day.
Yeah.
Make it work.
Yeah, because I'm 5'8" and I tend to go for like tall sizing, but that's mostly because I have a torso like a grasshopper. So yeah.
I'm super skinny. I'm just, so nothing fits. It just is all just hangs. I look. My daughter
is my potato.
Be potato.
My 10-year-old was like, "Mom, am I gonna look like you when I'm older?" And I was like, "Wow."
If you're lucky.
Well,
oh my
God.
God.
Like, no, she was like, she meant boobs. She's like, that's what came out next. She's like, I mean, Mom, am I going to have the same body as you? And I was like, I mean, the odds are you probably won't be as tall, but odds are is you're going to have a body similar.
For sure.
She was like, man, what am I going to do about bathing suits? And I was like, I survived.
Oh my gosh. I'm hoping my kids are a little bit more well endowed in the boob department as well, because their mama didn't get any of that. But both their grandmas did. So if it skips a generation, they are set. Good for them. Stay home forever. Yeah. I am so absolutely fascinated with what it's like for you guys when you are on these movie sets and these TV sets. Like, I've done extra work, which is like, like, it's like grunt work. Well, I wouldn't even say that, because it's not, you just sit around. You're a prop. You're a very well-fed prop. The food's delightful.
Yeah.
The food's always great. But have you been Oh, we lost Emily. Where'd Emily go? Hold on.
You can't see me?
I can't see you.
Hold on. Let me see.
Okay. We'll just wait.
Can you see me? Hold on. Can you see me now?
Coming back. Coming
Okay.
back. Have you been starstruck by anybody that Elle has worked with?
Oh, yes. When she was on set for Hunger Games, Liam Hemsworth and Jennifer Lawrence were both there, and they were just enamored with my little 4-year-old. Cute. Oh, she was cute in that costume. And there were 1,000 extras on set that day for Elle's scene. And I on the ground next to Elle and cry hysterically to get Elle to. I got paid this much dollars for this.
Right. Sounds about right.
So I'm laying on the ground, and they're like, Liam Hemsworth and Jennifer Lawrence are watching me from the director's tent, and I'm just like, wow, this is not how I ever pictured this in my head.
Right, because you act as well, and you're like, this is not how I thought I would meet A-listers.
She loved it. She doesn't know. She's just like, oh, cool, like, oh, nice to meet you. She doesn't ever know what, how big someone is. She did a movie called Trial by Fire. And actually, my youngest played Baby Elle in that, so I had 2 girls in it, which was very crazy. And so Laura Dern. Is that her name?
I love Laura Dern.
She's almost as tall. She's so tall, and she's like weighs even less, and she's just tiny and tall. She was the nicest. You know, when we were at Disney Channel and Disney, everything was kind of like, holy crap. Like, it's all like very real, overwhelming when you see all the pictures on the wall and things like that. That's a little bit crazy. But I always, you know, keep telling her, they're just people. They're just people like you. They're just people like you. And that's how true. Kind of you know, we're not autograph askers. We don't ask for pictures.
Yeah, definitely don't want to do that.
That's not really our scene. So I just kind of silently freak, and then
like that's
she did Mile 22 with Mark Wahlberg, but my mom actually took her to that, so I didn't.
Oh, you didn't get to meet Marky Mark?
I didn't.
Did you meet the Funky Bunch?
Yeah, I know. In his Calvin Kleins.
You're like, look, I am a child of the 80s, and I appreciate what you did with the Calvins, and I'm
really into it.
I'm really into it. No. So if you guys ever work with Skarsgårds, you know you have to invite me. I will be super cool.
Yes.
I will be super cool. I promise. I don't know if I've ever been starstruck, and I haven't met a lot of celebrities. It was just like I said, the ones that I did meet, I was kind of like, oh, that's cool. But I was literally dressed like a corpse, so it was like you don't feel confident enough to talk to them because you're a dead person.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's my only request, honestly, is that if you do get to work with a Skarsgård, I don't care which one, just holler at your girl.
Definitely.
I don't feel like there's anybody that I would be like, yo, give me that autograph. Like, I don't.
My phone's dying. I'm getting my charger. Yeah. I'm just not that way. I've never really.
I'm not that way either. I did meet the one guy from Survivor once.
Oh, you see,
we're losing you.
I met Adam Sandler in college and like went to. Can you see me?
I can see you. Yeah, I think once you plug your phone back in, we'll be golden.
Okay. Let's see. Can you see me now?
Yeah, I can see you. Mm-hmm. Hold on. Make sure the video comes back better. There we go.
Yay. Here
much
I am.
Much better.
Yeah, I've just never been a real autograph person, which is strange because like Elle's followers on Instagram are obsessed. Like, I love you so much. Oh my gosh, I love you. I don't.
That is kind of weird.
Isn't it weird? And she doesn't know because she doesn't follow it and she doesn't have any login information. So she didn't see it but like she gets DMs that are like, no. Are you a 14-year-old girl or are you like a 25-year-old man?
Oh, God, that's scary.
Like that. We just don't understand you.
Do you know what?
You're like, and that's why she doesn't get to access the Instagram. Exactly. That's why mom runs it.
Exactly.
You know what helps me not be starstruck by anybody? Everybody has had raging diarrhea at one point or another. Like, the ragiest. Possibly shat their pants, and that just makes me feel really good. Like, yeah, you have a lot of money, but you probably shit your pants once or twice or 10 times. I don't know.
It's true. And this pandemic, equalizer of all equalizers.
Absolutely.
You might be in your $50 million home quarantine, but you're still at home, and nobody can change that. Like, that's what I keep trying to tell Elle. Because she's so sad that she's not with her cast and her people. And I keep telling her, like, girl, every single project across the whole entire world, $50 million pictures are canceled. Yeah. Like, that's just where we are right now. It's not forever. It's just right now. But it's the biggest equalizer ever. So
it really is.
Very good point.
Pandemics. You know?
Now, I have heard, have honestly been avoiding the news in just about any capacity because I care about my mental health. But I've been reading that Ellen DeGeneres has not been faring so well during this pandemic.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Just that, like, some of her comments are not. Oh,
are you talking about the jail joke?
Well, I'm that, and then there was one other thing, and someone said, I was really excited. I was her bodyguard. I think it was on Reddit, and it was like an Ask Me Anything or somebody, like, tell me about a time where you met a person that didn't live up to your expectations or whatever. And somebody said that they were a bodyguard for her for one night and she didn't acknowledge them or say thank you or do anything. And the only person that really acknowledged them was Portia. And he said she was really nice, but then, you know, and it just kind of like everything all together. I'm just like, wow, you, maybe you are not, but not that I care. I don't really spend a lot, like, if it's not Blippi or Bubble Guppies, like, I don't really care right now.
Yeah.
How are the Bubble Guppies doing right now during the pandemic? Are they guppying?
That song is just, I can't.
You know, my mom's nickname is Guppy because my kids they couldn't pronounce grandma, and then they didn't want to pronounce grandma, so it's always Guppy. Like Guppy.
I like it.
I
like it. That's
Guppy,
sweet.
Guppy.
That's very
sweet.
Cute,
though.
It is. It's very sweet and cute, and that's all we call her now. Like, where's Guppy at? What's Guppy doing? But also, like, God damn it, fucking Bubble Guppies and Blippi. Baxley thinks that Blippi drives the trash truck.
You know, whatever gets them through the day. At least your kids are not watching stupid YouTube videos of other kids opening up boxes of things.
Blippi does that too. Blippi does that.
Okay. I mean, you just have to think about the fact that there are people out here like Emily, for example, who went to school as a single mother and accomplished all these things and works full time from home with 5 kids. And there's some kid somewhere opening toys and making $1 million.
Oh, I know it.
I just can't. No.
I didn't take my Cytomel today, which is why I'm doing all the yawning. Like, sorry about that.
No. Hey, it's Sunday night. We're tired.
It is.
We know we're about to start another week of this fun time.
Oh my God.
I'm determined to not be as stressed this week. I'm going to let a lot of stuff go. I'm going to relax on the schooling because I think I've been pushing it a little too hard and it's making all of us miserable.
That's what
some weed?
I the first week I was like, okay, we're going to get up and we're going to do this and now there are 2 check marks they have to do. I need to know that you've logged on and you're doing the activities that are in there.
Yeah.
And number 2, you're meeting with your group at the time on Mondays and Wednesdays, and everything else, enjoy YouTube because I just can't. And you know what? Like, it's impossible. How could I have a 2nd, 3rd, and 5th grader. I can't. Like,
no. I have a kindergartner and a 3rd grader, and I've actually thought about you several times when I'm trying to manage just the 2 of them. And I'm like, how are parents with 3 or 4 or 5 kids doing? How are parents doing who don't have computers at their house? Because, I mean, we're pretty fucking privileged, right? Like, we're privileged enough that, like, I have a laptop and we have a desktop, and then the 3rd grader has a laptop from the school. So it's like I'm thinking about these families that have, like, more kids than they have computers. And so it's like, and then I don't know about you, but like my kids don't work well on their own. I mean, the kindergartner loses her train of thought because kindergarten's not meant to be done online.
No.
Right? And then the 3rd grader, I'm 90% sure has ADD. We're working on getting that diagnosed, but it's like I have to sit next to her and make her do every single thing. She's wicked smart when she does the work, but she can't focus. And it's like and I'm in school, and I mean, I something's got to give. And I have to say, I absolutely love my kids' teachers because they basically, in so many words, we're like, do the best you can.
Yeah.
Like, do the best you can. Like, don't, engage with them a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, like, get outside. That's one of the teachers is like, just go outside and play. Like, go outside, play, read a book, watch a movie, snuggle.
Really, in the fall, they'll all be a little behind. They'll all be a little bit not quite where they were supposed to be when they got there.
Yep.
And the teachers next year are going to have to work to get them back on track. The teachers are the best things ever. And if nobody respected them before, I sure hope that they do now.
Right?
Yeah,
so,
sure.
I mean, we just can't, like, what does it do for either for us or for our kids to freak out about it? It just doesn't. We just have to let it go a little bit. That's like my mantra now is like, I can only do so much.
Yes.
So what are the important things that I'm going to highlight, and what are they going to remember at the end of this pandemic? Are they going to remember me hammering them on doing their homework and being a complete bitch about that? Or are they going to remember that I let them stay up till midnight a lot? Because they do. And I let them, and I built fires for them in a fire pit when I do not know how to build fires. And like, I basically
I love that.
Fine, you know, but those are the things they're going to remember,
Yeah.
you know?
That's such a good point. Oh my God. Yeah, I think we all need to be reminded of that sometimes because I get so frustrated with just like the lack of things going the way I want to during this because it's like I'm like, oh, if tomorrow I'm gonna do this, and this, and we're gonna be able to get it all done, and then it never works out that way, and I find myself yelling and angry, and I'm like, what? Why am I doing this? Like, why? This isn't what the teachers would want. Yeah. This isn't good for my kids. Like,
so you know what the best thing is that I tell my clients about making those kinds of lists is to just have one thing on it.
Okay.
So only one thing. Then you can't disappoint yourself, and your kids can't disappoint you, and you can't. And you're like setting your sights very low, which some people might say is like completely bad thing.
No, it's not.
Really, if you accomplish that one thing, then you can be like, look at me.
That's right. I did it. Right now, that's my kids' teeth because my kids have dental issues, like genetic dental issues. And so it's like, if we do nothing else today, you are going to brush and floss those teeth twice because I have spent so much money on your teeth and I don't know why we have all these problems, but we're going to stay on top of it. And the house is a mess, but your teeth are okay. That's really like, that's the priority right now.
It's like how you look at it, right? The teeth got done. If the house is dirty, whatever, the teeth were more important anyway. So it doesn't matter.
Yes. Yeah. Like the house can be cleaned later, but the teeth are important. Yeah. I did pay to have a house cleaner come this past week and it was the greatest treat I've given myself in a while. And I got stuck in that loop of like, why even do it? Because like the problem is not that my baseboards need scrubbing. It's that people leave shit all over my house all the time. So I need somebody to pick up after them. But then my mom was like, no, just like have someone do it. You'll feel better. And then your floors will be mopped. And so like you can put another layer of toys back down. But anyway, that made me feel better, even though the house is already trashed again.
It is what it is, man.
At least you have that baseline clean though. That's what I use my children for though.
Yes. Well, when there's 5 of them, I feel like you have to make them work. Like, why have that many kids if they're not going to do your bidding to a
At what age can we start doing that though?
So 5. I found that 4 and 5 are ages where they can fully understand a chore and they can grab it and attack.
That doesn't make me feel good.
Yes.
But were you hoping the answer was 18 months?
I was hoping it was 24 and a quarter.
How old are your kids?
2. Over 2. They're almost 2.5.
Oh, you have twins?
Uh-huh.
Oh, girl, that's a whole other level there.
Yeah, no, I actually made them wipe down the walls the other day. I was cleaning, and Lennon wanted to get into what I was doing. So I give them chores to do.
They can do something, you know, you can have them put away the silverware in the dishwasher, and that's a good matching thing.
We do that. They are allowed to wipe down anything that they want with a rag, which usually is walls because they have chalk. They help unload the dishwasher, and they pick up trash, which they put on the floor in the first place. So.
But they can start learning those habits now. That's fine. And then we do chores twice a week, and I just assign them, and that's it. So those 2 days, I mean, they don't think it's like, oh, it's chore day. Let's go do chores. They bitch every single time, and they hate it. And I'm the worst mom they've ever known twice a week.
For sure.
But they still do it because they also know I cannot do it all. I can't. So you will do it, my people. I had you. You came out of me. Now you shall do this.
I gave you everything. Yeah. My kids seem to respond best to written down lists with like check boxes. If I give them like 5 things to do, that seems to help. I mean, they still, like you said, bitch about it every single time. Like they've never, like this is the first time I've asked them to pick up after themselves ever in their entire life. It's good to know that everybody has that problem because I sometimes ask myself like, why are my kids so ornery about picking up?
Oh no, it's a universal problem with all children.
Do you find that your girls are messier than your boys? Because I've been hearing alternating theories on that. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I feel validated.
The boys
I am validated.
are the most, they're so messy.
Yeah.
But they are so helpful. if I ask Brady, my 9-year-old, Brady, can you please do this? He's up on his feet and he is doing it the second I ask him. That's my boy.
How does that work for husbands?
No.
Like, do you say right now or right now? Like, is that how that works? Because that's what I have to do. I'm like, right now. Zach's like, right now? And I'm like, right now. Which as it turns out, that's a Texas thing. When you say right now, it means at some point. But if you say right now, it means right this very second.
Oh.
About right. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
I don't even remember. My husband hasn't been around for a while now, so I don't remember.
That's fair. Sorry, I'm moving around a lot. I'm trying to get comfortable.
Husband? I'm starting to theorize that girls are messier.
And my girls are disgusting slobs of just monstrous proportions. Yes. And you have to beg them and drag them to clean up.
Yep.
And did you see that Facebook video? Someone posted something about kids, that's a woman making fun of how kids like brush their teeth. And,
yes. Yeah.
Like,
they just squeeze a line all over the counter.
It's accurate. Oh, yeah. give your girls some makeup to play with and then see what that looks like after.
No, I'm good. Thank you. I don't want
it doesn't matter if you give it to them, Rachel. Now, the only way to avoid this is to not have any of it in your house, because if you have it in your house, they will find it. And if you don't have it in your house, they'll find something like makeup that they can put on themselves like makeup, because makeup is everywhere.
Colored pencil that my 10-year-old dipped in water because she saw it on YouTube and painted all over the baby's face.
Yes.
And all over her face, and she came up covered in, and then I got it off of her, and then the next morning they woke up covered in a rash.
There you go. Cherry on top of that pie.
I know.
You know what? It's just they live, they learn, and I question my decisions, and that's how it goes.
Every day.
I just keep trying to remember that, like, I try not to do the whole, like, you're gonna miss this one day, but but at the same time I do kind of do that, like, where I'm like, okay, this right now feels really shitty, but ultimately life is pretty good, like, and we will miss the makeup messes, because one day they're going to be like, no, my makeup's tidy because I'm a grown ass woman and I don't live here anymore, right? Or like probably. In my kid's case, like, Betty loves to cook and she makes such a god awful mess, and there's so many times where I'm like, she'll be like, can I make something? And I'm like, I just cleaned the kitchen, like, I just cleaned the kitchen, and I'm like, I'm gonna miss this one day. I'm going to miss this one day.
It's true.
Gonna miss it one day.
Come here, and then you have to get out.
Is it one of them?
It's the little.
Hi. Hi, Mada. How you doing?
I'm almost done, and then I'll make a fire, okay?
Mm-hmm. We're going to wrap it up.
Yep, we are.
Goodbye.
Bye.
So, she's cute. I love you, too. She is cute. See, she makes me want another one. She's really her fault.
She's really cute. I go back and forth. I mean, you and I have had this conversation where I'm like, why not? And then I'm like, no. So it's probably going to be a no, just because at this point they're in school. Like, do I really want to start over? I mean, they're not really in school.
Starting your own next steps.
Yeah, it's like school, maybe a career, maybe make a little bit of money.
Yeah, which is awesome. Can I add? Making your own money after not making your own money for a long time feels so good.
Yes.
It feels so like, I am going to get that new sink runner because I made that money and I'm going to get that money, you know?
Like, nobody can't tell me I spend $200 on Zulily.
Exactly.
Yeah, because it's my money.
Exactly. I want that monogram dress for my kid, and I'm going to get a matching one for her sisters, and that's okay. So that does feel nice. That's a little perk of the work thing that I didn't think about, but that is nice too.
That's a good part.
We're trucking on in.
Yeah. I feel like we shouldn't keep you much longer though, because I know you want to go make a fire with your kid.
Yeah. I'm gonna go snuggle some cute little sleepy toddlers, and hopefully they got about in an hour, so I can go to bed.
Yeah, I think mine are in bed actually, so I'm gonna go give the husband a little bit of attention, like talk to him. Pat his head.
You don't have to. It's fine.
No, you really don't. He's already trapped. He's stuck. So
That's nice though. I miss that. So if you can do it, because I miss it. I do.
I will.
I do. It's a nice thing to have when you have it. When it's gone, that's when you're like,
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't consider myself like a super affectionate, snuggly person, but when you don't have someone to snuggle, you're like, I just want someone to touch me.
I know, it's so crazy. And that's not under the age of 20. That would be great.
Exactly. Like, I would really like everyone else in the house to stop touching me. Like, but where's my husbandito? Anyway,
that's so
Emily,
true. You guys, thank you so much for having me. This was so
thank you for yes, thank you for being on here, and
all right.
Keep doing this. Keep doing it. You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
You're so sweet. Now go be super mom. We love you.
Gosh.
Yes.
Gonna go build a fire. Bye, ladies.
Bye.
Thank you.